Hi, this video is a demo of the Wolfram Alpha ChatGPT plugin. I'm going to try to go through all of the things that it says it can do in this video and kind of show. Also, somebody pointed out that you can click on the thing to see kind of how it's thinking and processing. I'm going to try to do that as well. There is a little bit of a limitation here. While I have access to all the plugins, there's two that I don't. The openai plugins. The code interpreter plugin would dramatically enhance Wolfram Alpha, as we would be able to use it on our own data, on large data sets, like upload a spreadsheet or a CSV or something. We can't do that, so we're going to have to kind of play with that a little bit, but let's work through this. Here, I'm actually going to do this one at a time. So mathematical calculations, I'm going to ask it some funky calculation. Let's see what it does. Okay, here's my, it's been a while since I've done integrals, so let's see what it does. All right, so make sure to click on this, solve, integrate, the input response. I guess I can't really, is this its calculations or is it steps? The equation can be solved for x by finding the roots of the polynomial equation resulting from blah, blah, blah. I like how it's kind of showing its work to some degree. It's telling us what it's doing. Not really sure. I'm going to pause for a second. These roots are expressed. Oh, x equals. It's been a long time since I've done integrals. I don't recognize, and it's possible this is a limitation of kind of the chat thing here. I don't really recognize the answer, but it seems like it's giving me multiple answers. Maybe there are multiple x values that solve this. I don't completely understand that. So maybe somebody who knows, is a little more up to date with math notation can give that to me. So, but that's still pretty neat that it can do that, because my understanding is that some of these integrals can be extremely complex and hard to solve. Okay, let's try this as well. Data analysis. So obviously we can't do the heavy data analysis because we can't input that much data. I could probably copy and paste from a spreadsheet, but it's unclear how much of that it would do. We could. You know what, we'll try that second, but let's also do visualization. So what we're going to do is graph, please, we always want to be polite to our robot overlords. Please graph this equation. Let's see what it does. Let's scroll down and let's make sure we can see what it's doing while it's thinking. So it created an image and it's going to show us that image. I think within here, I think the images look pretty good sometimes. I've been able to get it to do even a 3D image, which is pretty neat, a 3D graph. Okay, did it not a bad job of that. Let's try let's try creating a spreadsheet real quick and then just copying and pasting it into here. Okay, so what I did was I downloaded the last 5 years of stock data for Microsoft. Let's just do one of the listings and let's graph this. Let's have it graph it. Let's see if that works. Please graph the above data. Let's see if it might not be too much. Curious if it's going to put this in for every single input here. I'll pause while it works through this and I'll show you the end result. It might be here a while because it looks like it's inputting every line one by one, and this is 5 years worth of data. So 5 times 365, that's what, like 1800 different lines, and it's doing it very slowly. So give me a minute. Okay, not sure exactly what happened here because it stopped showing its work here and it gave an error. Indeterminate string starting at line column. I wonder if it just didn't like some of the data on, I guess, 5.7. Oh, it's just missing. Maybe it didn't like that it jumped dates for some reason. I guess over the weekend they just don't. The stock market isn't open, and maybe Wolfram Alpha didn't like that. Let's see what it said. To create the graph. Okay, so it only has a little bit of data, and it only creates it over a very short period of time. That's interesting. It didn't like it. I think this will be resolved quite a bit with the code interpreter plugin, if I had that. So I'm not super concerned that it kind of barfed on the data. Well, it had a break here, so it's unclear why that would be an issue. Who knows why? What is this? When I click on this cloud plugin, okay, well, it says page at the top, page unavailable. Interesting. Okay, let's go back up to the top and scientific computations. Okay, I wonder what we could do with this. How about please calculate the next 5 dates when Mars will be closest to the Earth. I'm actually kind of curious about that. So it summarized it. Next 5 Mars opposition dates. I don't know if that's the correct term. Could not understand. Okay. Mars opposition dates. So it didn't understand that, so it's digging a little bit deeper and trying to figure out what this is. Nearest opposition to Mars. I wonder if this is correct. Let's actually check this answer. No, that's its opposition dates. So 2022, 2025, 2027, 2029, 2031. So 2025, 2027, 20... Okay, well, it looks like, even though I don't have the exact dates, looks like it seems about correct. I wonder if they'll give the exact dates. Oh, let me see if I can find the exact dates. This January 2025 does seem to match up with January 2025 right here. Well, there does seem to be a little bit of difference in the data. We have January 16th, 2025 and February 19th. Slight differences, so it's possible that there are disagreements in the calc. I don't think so. This should be a very precise calculation. So I'm kind of curious if this is correct or that is correct, or if I doubt this, but if there's some amount of disagreement among that. I do think it would be interesting especially if I were, still doing like physics calculations or chemistry or astronomy, to actually compute these. I'm not really sure how to compute this exactly, so I don't have really great ideas on what to do here. So I'll go ahead and move on. I did think that it looks like it maybe calculated those and didn't actually just pull the data from somewhere else, which would be pretty useful, I think, in general. Unit conversions. Okay, well, somebody told me that it was, please convert, it was 40 degrees Celsius into Fahrenheit. I don't know how to spell that. I don't remember how that, I'm sure that's wrong. Alright. This is something that ChatGPT might be able to do really well. Fahrenheit. So that is correct. I wonder if I just do it straight up like GPT-4, if GPT-4 could do that. So let's go back here. My spelling of Fahrenheit is very, very wrong. Oh, okay, it showed its work. Not bad. So maybe not the best example for conversions. I don't really think the unit conversions thing is super useful. Maybe in combination with other things, just because there's other things out there that do that very easily. You just go to Google and it can do that. Calculations involving dates, times, determine time zones, and calculate durations between dates. Okay, so let's have it calculate this. So please tell me how many years, blah, 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 until the next leap day. Oh, it's actually doing it. Not quite exactly what I was looking for, but... So it looks like there's a leap day coming up in 2024. Let's use Excel to calculate this, actually. So we got this right here. We're just going to do equals that minus that. So 311. Yep. Looks like it calculated correctly. All right, good job. Fact retrieval. This is interesting. Famous people. All right, let's try something like, what is the population of Rome as of April 24th, 2023? This might actually involve some calculation. So I'm kind of curious how it's going to do this. Instead of just pulling the data, it might actually have to kind of extrapolate Rome population. Let's look up here. Rome is a city. Huh. It didn't... I'm not sure how useful this is, because it seems like, you know, for old data or for long-standing factual data, GPT-4 does just fine, and the Google search does just fine. Maybe integrating this into other things might be useful. I wouldn't exactly say that either that or even the real-time data. Weather. All right. Oh, subject to the knowledge cutoff. Okay, well, that's not very helpful. How can you call this real-time data if it's, you know, a year and a half old? I don't quite understand that. I'm not going to even test that because it's just not accurate. I wonder if we could look at... I got an idea. Let's try this. Please graph the average global temperature by year from 1800 through 2021. Again, this would be... This might be something that you would be able to do with the code interpreter plugin in combinations. There's actually two different requests in once. It's actually grabbing the historical data along with graphing it. So I'm curious to see how it does it. The code evaluation timed out. All right. Let's do this. Oh, it's still working. Oh, okay. I don't need to do that. It kind of solved its own problem. That's funny. That's good. That's a really good sign. So it seems to have an issue with this. I wonder if we do... Let's just do through 1950. Let's see if we make it a lot smaller. If it gives us a better answer. Okay, it still seems to have trouble with that, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. Let's see. The plugin can analyze language and text, provide definition of words, and perform a linguistic analysis. Not sure how useful this is because I feel like GPT-4 is very strong at this. Is very, very strong at this. So I don't really see any like angle here that would be good for that, unless it like combined data or math to some degree. Again, I don't really see a way to test this. that would be separate from, that would be better than GPT-4 in any way. If you have any ideas, let me know, and I'll give it a try. Symbolic computations. Oh, this is interesting. Let me think of something. All right, we're going to try this. Please solve for y in terms of x. I altered this a little bit so that there's a y and an x, and let's just see kind of what it does. So it seems to have interpreted it correctly. Okay, so there was an error, and then it tried again. It looked like it got it this time. 3 possible expressions. I did not do the calculation myself, but hopefully those are correct. If they are not, please leave a comment below for what the correct one was. I'm happy that it tried it, and I think that the ability to use math within the chat actually expands quite a bit on the possibilities of ChatGPT, because math is part of so much of our world, and even just kind of simple math sometimes, making sure that we get it exactly correct is very useful, as it is actually seemingly ironic on the surface, but really not if you know how it works. But it's a weakness of the large language models. While GPT-4 did get that other one right, and I think it is better than GPT-3 3.5 at math, this is pretty neat. So hopefully this was insightful to you. Let me know if there's anything else that I missed. I appreciate you still here. If you like this, and subscribe so that I can feed my kids. Have a great day. Bye.